There's a story inside every smoke shop, with every cigar and with every person. Come be a part of the cigar lifestyle at Boveda. This is Box Press. We arrive at the Perdomo headquarters in Hialeah, Florida. Nick's office is full of sports memorabilia, drum sets, arcade games, and Nick is a passionate musician as well as a great cigar maker. We're going to get into his cigar blends right now. This is one of my favorite cigars. If you like creamy, buttery, smooth cigars, these are bachelor parties, weddings, phenomenal. I want to try something new, but classics never die. I had some of these anniversaries, I don't know. Where'd Nick go? I have questions.
We've sold over 70 million of those cigars since our inception. And people always tell me, how good does it sell? I always say, you know how expensive college is. It put both my kids through college.
Just that cigar
alone. It's so massive that we had to retire 2 brands because this SKU alone sells over 9,400 boxes a month. Just that SKU right there, just that one size, which is crazy.
It's such a good cigar.
It's a very unique cigar because when I came up with it, people said when I started with this brand, everybody used Dominican tobacco with Connecticut shade wrappers. And I said, I'm going to come out with a Connecticut sea wrapper with Nicaraguan fillers. Well, you'll never be able to mask, it'll mask the wrappers because the wrappers are too mild. They're actually not. If you age these wrappers, they actually have a spice to them and a creaminess to them. If not, they're bitter because what happens is they're so expensive that people bring them from the curing barns, they bulk them, they give them one sweat, and they work with them because they burn. If you did that with any tobacco, it would be tart and bitter. So I used to call this leaf the grapefruit leaf. So what had happened, it's kind of a funny story. We started buying Connecticut shade wrappers in 1991, and we would store them. And then in 1998, 1996, we had a brand called Cuban Parejo that was coming out. And my dad called me up when my dad was alive, and he said, "What we could do with all this Connecticut shade wrapper?" So at the time, you know, I had enough to do like 9 million cigars, believe it or not. It yields extremely well. And I said, you know, I don't like it, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I wanted to store it for a rainy day because we had a lot of blue mold and black shank problems back in the 90s, which today we can combat it with great pesticides and algicides and fungicides, but back then we didn't have it. So I wanted to keep this, and because this tobacco is grown in Ecuador, it's south of the Andes, and the Andes mountain actually blocks molds, viruses, and spores because the mountain chains are so high. That's why Ecuador never has mold or anything. But it's because of the mountain. So I wanted to save this for a rainy day. So my dad, who was really an expert, I said, "Smoke them, man. They're bitter." My dad, he said, "Man, this is great. They're creamy. They taste really good." What people do is they look at the wrapper and assume what the cigar is. So for example, this cigar is actually stronger than this cigar. But people, if they look at it visually, would say this cigar is more full body. Right. But it's not, because you have to offset the binder and wrapper combination. So if you use a thin wrapper, you have to use a thick binder. So the guts on both these cigars are very similar, but because this has a thick binder versus because it's a thin wrapper, it offsets so the cigar will burn. So it's actually more full body. So when we do tastings, we actually blindfold you. Perception's reality, right? But if you look and you say, "Man, that wrapper's light," that means it's light. It's really not.
So you're taking it to the next level because you're not even just saying, "I'm unbanding the cigar." No. You want a full blindfold, so I can't see that this is darker than this, and then judge that by strength, flavor, intensity.
Yeah, and I could prove it to you, and you would smoke totally different, and you would flip out because we have pictures, like you can see, we call it 8 in our circle of trust. And these are guys, I mean, we have over 350 years of smoking experience, and we're blindfolded. So we work in teams. So to be you and I cut the cigar for you, I put it in your mouth, I light it for you, you smoke it, you take 5-6 puffs, you tell me what you taste. I write your tasting notes for you. You're telling me as you're smoking. You know?
This one started me out in your brand.
Yeah,
pick this up.
That's a good one. That one's been out 21 years. That's been a very good brand for us. Yeah, it's been very good. This is the new 12-year double-aged vintage. We only have 100 stores that carry this. Have you tried the new 10th anniversary Maduro?
No.
That's phenomenal. That's won Cigar of the Year by 3 different periodicals, and periodicals that I respect a lot because they were actually tested by cigar smokers. So Cigar Journal was one.
Their reviews.
Their reviews are excellent.
Really good.
Oh yeah. What I want to do is I want to be able to keep you in the umbrella, So a lot of times for me, I smoke Connecticut seed wrappers in the evening. I think they pair really good. I like this one Scotch called Avalor Abunda. It's a cast strength Scotch. It's 123.9 proof, and I think Connecticut pairs extremely well with that. You know what I mean? It just depends. People always say morning, midday, night. Not necessarily. It's what you like. You know what I mean? And
I smoked that many times at the shop in Rome.
I did try that one when you get a chance. So that got Cigar of the Year in Cigar Journal. It got Cigar of the Year in Tobacco Business Daily, and it also got Cigar of the Year in David Garofalo's podcast, The Cigar Authority, which I have a lot of respect for because he sends 1,000 packages out. And this was tested by smokers. So when a smoker enjoys a cigar, to me, that's like euphoria. I'm super happy about that. To me, there's really no bad cigar. A lot of people someone just asked me last night, I was doing a podcast, do you smoke other people's cigars? And I said, yeah, all the time. If I was a Michelin star chef, wouldn't I go to another restaurant too? You know what I mean? So to me, and a lot of guys say I only smoke my cigars, whatever. I smoke everybody's cigars. I mean, I've been in the industry for 30 years. I'm third generation. I mean, my father ran H-Oven, my grandfather ran parties, my grandfather's brother was a minister of tobacco in Cuba for 46 years. There's about 7 books written on him. And I had great tutelage. This is a 45 high cube container. We get one every single week. This will have 728 cartons, and each carton has between 24 and 37 boxes of cigars in each one. All of them are staged to the shipping department. So basically, the first thing would be maybe champagne, then it goes to Habano, Lot 23, 20th anniversary, it goes in succession, so it's very organized. Because of the lack of workers in the United States, this is all automated, and half of it we're waiting for the rest of the automation system to come in. Everything over here now is being placed, but if you look, the guy in the blue shirt runs our IT, Phones runs the shipping. He's our sales manager. Everybody works. My job is that when you go into the retail store and you go to work and you go to the Perdomo section, you can feel rest assured that cigar is going to draw, it's going to burn, the tobaccos are going to be fermented, the tobaccos are going to be aged, and nobody's going to come back to you and go, hey man, you sold me a cigar that didn't draw. And that happens all the time.
Right.
And you know what? I'm not the guy that looks bad at the end. It's you as the retailer recommending, even though it's totally my fault if I send you something inferior. So
well, your brand gets hurt the most because
without a doubt.
They go, oh, this wasn't that good. I don't know if I really like Perdomo.
Without a doubt. But, and then also, if you hear that, you're probably going to be prone not to push the brand too.
People talk more about negative than good.
Without a doubt. You know? I've always said when people like something, they'll tell 10 people. If they don't like something, they'll tell 1,000.
Yeah.
And that's
a 3 to 1 ratio on anything.
At least, yeah, that's the truth. So
I can't tell you how much when I knew I was coming to see Nick, I was like, I really hope I can start my day with a champagne. Good. That's the only thing I really wanted other than the video. I was like, I just want to smoke a Perdomo champagne.
That's a great
with
cigar.
Nick.
I'm going to join you on that one today.